Check. All right, we're gonna go and check. All right, we got audio. Hopefully I've got audio now. As far as it being choppy, let me know if the video stays choppy, because it shouldn't be choppy, but for some reason it says the stream is not getting enough data on YouTube's end, even though I'm transmitting a lot of data, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, is it still choppy, Mikey? All right, well, I'm going to go back to what I was looking at, which was some photos from that I scanned after 2 weeks ago, and then I got too busy last week and didn't get stuff done, and I really didn't get a lot done this week, but I've got a lot to go through. So let's go to my screen here, and I'm actually going to go there, and we're going to look at my screen here. So this is Chris Donahue. I actually love this toboggan shot, Grouse Mountain. We looked at this on the slide sheet, didn't really get to looking at it. So this is the Grouse Mountain World Cup stuff, dirt jump stuff. So Chris Donahue. Darren Berrecloth. I believe this was a Launch Mag cover. Hang on a second. I think I have it. Or maybe I don't have it here. I don't know. I got a ton of magazines here. But not that one. Crazy. Of all the things, oh, I have to have it. I have every Launch magazine. But maybe not that one. Modest bike, more Launch. Yes! Hey, guess what? I found that one. Got nobody there watching, but hey, there's that one. That's Launch magazine from this picture. Sitting right there. Video's a little choppy. I don't know what to do about. I gotta talk to somebody that knows more. I've spent too much time looking at. Wait, where's my focus there? I've spent way too much time looking at videos trying to make streaming stuff. Instead of looking at photos in the evening, I've been trying to figure out how to make this stream better. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. Stream's not getting better, so maybe I should spend, well, I don't know. Anyways, that picture right here was on the cover of Launch magazine, so I scanned it, which is cool. Next one, going over here. We're gonna go and this one, Super Indian Air from Darren. Love this shot. This didn't make it on the cover. The 1 foot table did, but I kind of like this shot. Ryan Leach up at the Grouse Mountain World Cup with a wall ride. Chris Donahue, wall ride shooting for Iden on looks like it's like Clark Street in Vancouver. Little Iden thing here. We got the Iden sticker on the post. Chris's Iden gear. Got another shot. This one's got Sato and Ray in the background. Roy and Sato watching. This shot of Chris I scanned. I really like this one. Kind of silhouette-y. A little bit of flash in there. And then this one with the sun bling and a lot more flash. And again, got to clean this up, dust it. But yeah, needs a cleaning. And then this one, really like this shot a lot. This is downtown. I think Robin mentioned last week that he really likes this too and wanted to go check this spot out. So this is at the CBC offices in downtown Vancouver, CBC building. Chris with another wall ride, downtown Vancouver, over a set of stairs. Bunny hop onto a concrete trash can in downtown Vancouver. We got Tony Milkman here filming, and looks like just some random kids in the background watching maybe. I don't know who that is. Maybe somebody that was with us, maybe not. And that's it. That's all I got scanned. So not so much. You know, the week before we got all this stuff scanned all the way down to Kyle Straight's bike. Kyle, all this stuff from Whistler, from the second Whistler event. It's the second Joyride at Whistler. And yeah, so I'm going to now switch over to this, and we'll look at some of these things. I'm going to find somewhere to plug this in. I don't know where. All right, well, give me a second here. I'm going to plug this in and be right back. All right. That's plugged in. Okay, so over here we have let's put me up in this corner. We've got these same shots that ended with these ones and this one, and then got that one. Now I'm going to switch this to, there we go. All right, well, there we go. So we got these wall ride shots. This is Chris. This is at English Bay in Vancouver. Chris Donahue. Another one. I love this shot. Actually, I might print this shot. It's definitely a favorite of mine. Chris put this little piece of wood. I don't know if you can see it in the bottom. There's a little piece of wood there. Tiny little ramp that just to get a little pop to get up onto the wall. And then we've got Darren, Berrecloth, with a couple shots. Chris, little wall ride, or little Abubaca on a wall. Dustin Adams, OG downhiller. I think we talked about all this 2 weeks ago. Dustin now runs an amazing bike company in BC. Makes carbon bikes and wheels and all sorts of cool stuff. Then we've got Darren jumping off of what looks like a school portable over a fence onto a thing off the Nanaimo sign for the Canada Games, Summer Games, and then a couple other shots. So I'll get that stuff scanned up. And then we'll go to some new stuff. And while I'm sitting here, I'm just going to do this and take a shot right now. Okay, let's do this. Let's go. Story. Just shared a little thing to my YouTube story saying I'm live. We'll see how that goes. And then okay, done. So once we get into here, we got some cool new stuff coming. So there's a lot of Darren in here. Berrecloth. And I'm gonna zoom out so we can get, there we go. So this is Darren, this is a Fufanu at lee side on the sub rail on this little, well, box jump. And then we've got Chris Donahue, this is a downtown wall ride. Not downtown, I think this is, I don't know, Chris, somebody out there. Carousdale Arena maybe, or somewhere in Kits. Doesn't say, wall ride to table, yep. We got Geordie Lunn in Pemberton. And then Gareth Dyer also in Pemberton. And then we move up, this is north of Pemberton, this is on the way to Cache Creek, I think, from Pemberton on the Duffy Lake Road. This is a vertical cliff. This is Geordie, and yeah, pretty stoked on that. We were heading up to shoot some stuff up in Cache Creek, and had this big blue ramp. Who was that? Oh God, I can't remember who built the ramp. Somebody built this big blue ramp, and it fit perfectly in the bed of a pickup truck. So we hauled it up here and stuck it behind the bush on your left, and built a little landing on the hip on the right, and sent it. So there's Gareth. I got shots of Geordie hitting that as well, and with the truck in it, and a bunch of other things. And then we go to some. This is some Kranked stuff, and. Kranked 5, Darren's first Kranked movie. And in this photo, you can just see him down here in this chute. And this was cool because on this trip, Darren had never, ever ridden anything like this chute. And at this point, the bike that he'd had, the Norco that he'd had, in the cover photo from Bike Magazine and the stuff we were doing from Launch Magazine, you know, all that kind of was in process, but Norco wanted the bike back. They weren't giving it to Darren. They just gave it to Launch Magazine for a review, so they needed it back. So my good friend Eric Fox over at .243 Racing, he gave Darren a .243 Racing hardtail. Darren built it up and used it for Kranked. And this was a pretty steep chute in Spence's Bridge up in well, north of Vancouver, up the Fraser Canyon a ways. And steep and loose. And Darren just figured if other people could do it, then he could do it too. So he just went and did it. And this is a cool shot. This is a, oh, this one beside it's all twisted up. This is a kind of a wall ride, and Darren's doing, basically it's like a 1-footer on it. I'm not sure. I think he was trying to do a 1-foot table, but it turned into like a 1-foot nose bonk. Tire tap on the wall. Here's a different angle of it. Darren on the wall. You can see he's coming towards us there. And then this is Tyler Klassen, Super T, on the same wall, same shot. Not quite on the wall. I'm not sure if Tyler ever hit the wall or not. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at Kranked. And another variation of that same shot. I don't know. Wait, is that even the same shot? One of these might be. I think this is actually a dupe, because it's in here twice, and I'm pretty sure if we go and put those over top of each other, that is the exact same shot. Yeah, well, that's the exact same shot. This is a dupe slide. I'm going to make sure that doesn't get mixed up with the originals. And then these shots that nobody's ever seen, Darren, here. This is, yeah. 1 foot table, no foot can, topside can. And then this wall ride, I'm bummed this shot, these never really went anywhere. I think the angle didn't really work as well either as it could have. Got to go through these actually as a story at some point and look through all the shots from this trip, because there's some good lifestyle and stuff in there too. But from that trip, that was Darren's first shoot for Kranked. And then we went straight up here to Williams Lake and Dessous Mountain and the Dessous Road Gap that had just been built for us. And it's kind of hard to see Darren in this shot, but he's right there behind the tree. And this is or was pretty rad, because Darren at this point had been a BMXer and had done a couple little steep chutes and some dirt jumps, but he'd never really done anything big. And right before he rolled into this one, I asked him, I said, you know, like, what's the biggest thing you've ever dropped on your bike? Like, this is a sizable drop. I mean, you can see the truck down there, and the ramp's up here, like top corner. There's a ladder bridge, and the landing is down here on the other side of the truck. That's a long ways down. I don't remember what it was, 35 feet or something. Fair ways. And I asked Darren, I said, hey, what's the biggest thing you've ever dropped on your bike? And he said, 10 feet to flat on my 20. It's like, okay. And he looked at it, he said, you know, this is all good though. He's like, this looks like it goes really well. It lines up nicely, so just gonna hit it. And he did. And pretty excited. There's his expression after the first time hitting it. Pretty stoked. And then Tyler hit it, Klassen. And see him there. You can see how high it is. The landing's at the very bottom of the screen. Let me zoom out even a little more. You can kind of see the landing at the very bottom and Tyler at the very top. So Tyler's 6 feet tall. It's definitely got some height to it. And then this one, this was my first real photo. Darren, after doing it a couple times, said, I'm going to do this one more time. And this time, I'm going to do something different, so you better get it. And, yeah, okay. Got ready, found the best, what I thought was the best angle to really show it and get him out of the trees. It was too bright. It was, I mean, it was not the best weather for shooting in the trees. It wasn't sunny, but it was pretty darn bright out. Anyways, Darren went off of it and clicked a bit of a table off of it. Not a full table, but it was definitely solid for something that big. I don't think anybody had ever tricked anything that big, not even close at the time. So, you know, there'd been a few, you know, superheroes dropping stuff and doing stuff like that that you know, maybe taking their hands off the bars, I think, or doing an X-up. I don't think anybody had really done much on drops, especially not big, you know, more natural drops like this. So anyways, Darren threw a table, and that ended up on as a spread in Dirt magazine in the UK. Mike Rose is pretty stoked with that stuff. Fresh and new from America. This one was an Atom Lab ad for Darren. It was a natural jump we kind of built over this rolling landscape, and just him being this high up in the air. Kind of cool. And from there, went to Rampage. And there's a lot of stories about Darren getting into Rampage this first year. Basically, Rampage, he wasn't invited, and people weren't taking any, they weren't taking any new riders. But so before all of this, after the Kranked stuff, this was getting into the fall, and it was Interbike time. And I was driving down to Interbike, and Darren came with me, took my parents' Mazda 626, and we drove down. That's the year that Interbike, I think, was in, wait, was it? No, we went to, first of all, I can't remember where Interbike was that year. Was that Huntington Beach here, or Newport Beach? I can't remember. Orange. It was in Orange, I think. But also, Darren was competing, riding BMX at the Vans Triple Crown in Ocean Beach. So we went there. I think we went there first. Did some BMX stuff, and then went to Interbike, where his Bike Mag cover launched, and everybody was, and he had a bunch of ads, and this kid that nobody ever heard of was suddenly on the cover of Bike Magazine, and all over the Kranked trailer that Bjorn brought with him to show people, and a bunch of other photos and ads, and all of a sudden it was like, Darren, Darren, Darren. And Red Bull Rampage was pretty much the next weekend, and or 2 weeks later. No, I think it was the next weekend. And I was going to go to Rampage. Darren decided he was going to go and try and get in. And through our friend Corey LeClaire, we managed to get Darren in. I don't remember the exact story. I thought Corey had to drop out because of an ankle injury or something, but Corey did ride. I know I have pictures of him riding, so I don't remember that exactly what happened. Yeah, it happens. Mikey, you're saying focus is off. It looks pretty good to me. I think that might have been a while ago. I gotta always refocus on the slides, or just switch to me talking. So we went down, Darren got into Rampage, and I shot Rampage just as a photographer. I guess they just let me do it because I'm who I am or something, I don't know. I managed to get in. Nowadays you need media pass, accreditation, all that stuff, but for some reason I managed to get in and shoot Rampage without too much trouble. And yeah, let's go back and we'll look through some Rampage images real quick. So this first one, this is Darren. Dropping a, I'm try and make sure this is in focus. They're all a little different. There we go. And then another shot, Darren, a little table off a drop. And that was, again, Darren brought this BMX style of like tricking things, which mountain biking at this day was like, I mean, people were tricking stuff. People were doing no-handers and X-ups and stuff, but there really wasn't that much going on. Darren again, this is all, I think, early practice maybe. Darren, this is a table. Drop. Shams. A lot of this stuff is going to be best viewed once I get it scanned. Richie Schley with a no-hander, so there are definitely a few tricks going on. Richie Schley. This is Lance Canfield. I love this shot. He's like leaned over into this thing. Lance had some style, throwing some style into it. Early Canfield bike. So for those of you that wonder about me riding a Canfield, I've known the Canfield brothers, not well, but I've known them for a long time. This is 2002, and this is Lance. Another Lance shot. Big drop. And then another one. You can see that early Canfield bike there. It doesn't look like it's in focus. Let me just... I think when I zoom into things on the camera, it doesn't really get that crisp. It's just a digital zoom, so not perfect. Another Lance shot. Thomas Vanderham dropping in. Vancouver boy. More Vanderham. Bordeaux. Robbie Borden. More Bordeaux. And this one's classic. This is, I figured I had a good shot here. And this guy walked up and got in the middle of my shot. And I yelled at him, "Hey, you're in my shot." So what did he do? He said, "Oh, okay." And he pulled his pants down, which was a beautiful move. So there you go. Christian Pondella, folks. Should probably post that one to Instagram sometime soon. Just a bunch. These are all the same. Steve Peat competed. Actually, he didn't really compete. He rode. I wouldn't call it competing. He rode the course, went really fast, and then pieced out. Andrew Chandro, Mike Kinrad, a lot of Canadians. Early Rampage was a lot of Canadians. So we're going to get to a lot of scanning. I'm actually going to get some scanning in later tonight too, so we'll maybe see some of this stuff up closer then. Greg Smith, if any remember him. Lars Trebus, early Deity rider, before the days of Deity. Randy Spangler. Brett Tippy, I have one short sequence of him and he's crashing, nothing else. Steve Peat and Boss DeBeaver. Just a whole bunch of photos. People hanging out, Vanderham, the judges. This is actually, they carried a couch up the course for the judges. And there we go. There's the couch, judges sitting on the couch. People checking out lines. Gibby, John Gibson, checking the light with his light meter. Darren. Vanderham, Chandro, and Darren. Straight and Bordeaux. Bordeaux and Lisa Lefroy. Brad Ewan. I think this is maybe the first time I met Brad. It was 22 years ago. It's awesome. Cedric Gracia, Steve Peat, Judges Ridge. There's some interesting stuff that will, I don't know what's going on in this picture. There's a lot going on. Just nothing crazy, just people doing people things. Spectators, everybody getting stoked. Mike Rose and Petey. And they were going somewhere, I don't remember where, they had to get somewhere, so they had borrowed Troy Lee's car, come out to Rampage, and then they were headed to the airport right quick. Petey, Chandro. Johnny Waddell broke himself off. Needed to get patched up. Petey and Mike Rose in Troy Lee's car headed out to the airport. This was something we dubbed the, I dubbed it the donkey event. These donkeys were on the side of the road on the way out to the Rampage site. And everybody was stopping to take pictures of them. This is Ronnie Gay and Corey LeClaire. And then if we keep going, there's the donkey. Yeah. Hey, bud. Take a picture of him. Claw. All rampaged out. And then the podium. So Tyler won. Super T won. Some big drops. He did some huge drops. And Cedric came second, riding fast and furious like a World Cup course. And Claw came third, with a bunch of tricks in the mix that nobody'd really expected or seen. So there's Tyler. I also have a bunch of pictures of Tyler and Darren together. Same thing. And then we went straight back up to Williams Lake, back up to Dessous Mountain to shoot Kranked. And Tyler dropped off, I mean, there's a landing in there, but dropped off this fire tower. Watchtower, the top of Dessous. Built this huge landing for him, which you can kind of see there. You can see it better in this next shot. Right there, you can see how big this landing is. So it's a big drop, but it was a solid landing. It wasn't dropping to flat. A little behind the scenes with Super T on the bike and Bjorn on the cable cam. Crazy to think how we used to do things. This is before we had remote control cable cams and drones and all that stuff. Now the FPV drones, I mean, you don't need a cable cam. You can just follow right in there. A lot of these pilots are so good. Shot of Darren, no foot can. The forest all mossy and green. Corey LeClaire, same jump. Darren, he had moto toe into this hip in a gravel pit, and trying all sorts of things. I had to step up and then another jump, and Darren was trying to do tail whips. I'm not sure if he succeeded or not. I don't remember. And then we went straight back to this Dessous road gap. That's my truck, or actually Nicole's truck, sitting there this time, and Tyler dropping over it easily. See the top of the landing there by the truck. And this time Tyler dropped it. Everything was perfect. But one small problem. Tyler broke, what's it say? 24 spokes on his wheel on that drop when he hit. He came up a tiny bit short, cased it, and broke 24 spokes. Of course, this was also the wheel that he rode at Rampage, dropping some huge stuff. So the rim was still straight. There was still air in the tire, but 24 broken spokes. So he had to go to the bike shop, get a new wheel. And yeah, kept going. Sato. This is at lee side. And Chris, lee side. Wall ride to fakie. Eric Engstrom. I come back and I look at some of these things and I look like Eric Ringstrom is what I wrote. His name's Eric Engstrom. I don't know why I wrote Ringstrom. I get confused sometimes, or maybe I got typo or something, but yeah. Eric was working for Atom Lab, I think, at the time. This was in Santa Clarita, so I went straight from there back down to Santa Clarita to shoot some things. And then shot some stuff for Atom Lab, I believe. I kind of forgot about that, and then I sent a couple photos to Kale Noble. This is Kale here. Last night, and he reminded me that thought this was for Atom Lab, and that makes sense because they're right there. This is in Santa Clarita, and Atom Lab was in Santa Clarita there. Also Darren Miller. There's Darren. Eric Engstrom, Darren Miller, Cale Noble. Got this shot of Cale, posted this to my story. The day Cale said he was 18 at this time. Crazy how long ago that was. Darren, a little whip over the jumps. Scott Hart. Here's Scott Hart. This is the Simi Valley jumps. Same trip, we went to Simi Valley. Yeah, so Scott Hart. This is 2002. This is before Decline magazine existed. This would have been, I think, 26, the original 26 magazine. Cale on his, looks like a BMX race bike almost. Nice little turn down. And then Tyler Klassen, Simi Valley. I think there was a race face. There must have been maybe there was a race face thing. I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna quickly switch over to getting ready to scan some things. And switch lenses on my camera here. Who else is here? Anybody else? Nobody else that's commented. I don't know who's here, but and then also Mike Reed. If any of you remember Mike Reed, wanted to go, and he sent me a message on Instagram and wanted to look at some photos from the ice cream jam, Jordy's Jam, which I thought was, we couldn't figure out the exact date on it, but turns out the one we're thinking of, when we had the ladder, and I shot a photo of Ross that ended up on the cover of Decline magazine. This cover. And I thought it was 2008 maybe, but couldn't find the photos. So came and found the magazine and looked at it, and it's September 2006. So it was Jordy's Jam in 2006. So I found those photos. So maybe we'll go through some of those for Mike. I don't know if he's on there watching or not, but definitely check that out. Comments? No more comments. All right. Before I do that, let's go and... No, let's do that right now. Let's just... I gotta get ready to start scanning. So I'm going to... need to go here. Today is the 8th. So when I'm scanning stuff, I basically set it up as a, well, let's see. I'm going to go there. So when I'm scanning stuff, I've got, I don't know if you can see here, all my folders of scans. We're going to create a new one. So we're going to go auto import settings, and we're going to create a new folder, 03, today's the 8th, and that's it, new folder. And now all I need to do is switch this cable. Turn this back on, and I'm going to need to get ready to scan. I need to look at something here. We're going to go... Oh, it's... All right, and I'm going to... So for scanning, with my Sony, I use the Sony... Come on. Sony software. So I'm going to find the Sony. remote. Hopefully it sees my camera there. And I gotta lower the camera a little bit. It's a little high. There we go. So I can see that. Let's throw a photo in there. I gotta lower it. That's gotta be as close to full frame as I can get it. And I'll show you a little trick. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's a little trick for making sure things are perfectly vertical and lined up and level and whatnot. A lot of people use a little bubble level on their camera, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everything is level. So what I like to do remind myself, we're no longer in 16:9, we need to be in 3:2. There we go. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna take and put a mirror. I got this little mirror and I'm gonna put it over top where the slide is, make sure it's flat, and shine a light on it, and what you're gonna see is the reflection of the camera lens. Oh, that's a dirty mirror. So that reflection needs to be centered in the crosshairs. That would mean that it is perfectly centered. Which is important. So there we go. We have well, close enough. I might be out by a tiny, tiny bit, but there we go. That's how the easiest way I've found to figure out if you are, well, if your camera is lined up straight, level with whatever you're scanning. So now we're going to go and zoom in. This is just a test photo. I don't need to scan this one. It's super dirty and it's been... There we go, in focus. Okay. Now we're going to go back over here, go to the first sheet, and we're going to start scanning. And that's what I'm going to be doing for a while. So if you're hanging out, we're going to be scanning. So starting with this shot of Chris. Okay, there we go. Make sure Chris is in focus. Okay, that's there. Do I need to adjust anything else? Let's get a tiny bit brighter. There we go. Looks about right. And take the picture with the Sony remote. That way I'm not shaking the camera, because it does shake when you push it. And I haven't been able to figure it out. It always opens up in the Sony viewer. But if I switch back to Lightroom now, we're going to see this new folder with this shot of Chris in it. And actually, It's going to have to move over a little bit. It's fine right here, but you can see there's a little bit more over here. I got to center this thing a little better. But yeah, that's good. Nice and sharp on the Hylands logo and everything. So do that. And then what I end up doing is typing in name Chris Donahue English Bay wall ride, and then I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to put in here what page it's on in an album. So it's in 2002, not 2003, 2002, 02, album 3, page 20, and it is 02 MB 1398. That's the number that is on the slide if you look at the slide. So now I know where this is. When I go back and look for it in an album, it's easy to find. So you come back to this one. This is the other image from that same shoot that I'm keeping. It's what you would call a similar. It's a very similar shot. Okay, that's there. We'll switch back to the Sony. This was a good time. I had a lot of fun shooting all the Iden stuff back in the day with Don and Roy running everything, and we had Chris Donahue, Nigel Corliss, Sato, Dylan Tremblay, all sorts of stuff going on. It was, and they were my first real steady client for mountain bike stuff. And they paid me every month, and I went and shot photos a bunch of days a month, and it was awesome. Clothing company, Iden. Modeled after what was happening in skate and snowboard at the time, so very different from what really was going on in the mountain bike world, but it worked well. So this one, we're going to do the same thing. Chris, English Bay wall ride, that's already there. I'm going to go 02, this should come up. 02, 3, this is on page 21. And this one is 1402. There you go. So this is the process. Darren, Berrecloth, will so when these scans come in, they're going to come in sideways, so I'm going to have to rotate them. I don't remember the name of these dirt jumps or where exactly they were, but if anybody else remembers, let me know. 21, this is 1417. There we go. I always like to double check the focus on these things. Really, the focus distance should not be changing at all, because the slide's not moving, the camera's not moving, nothing's moving, so it should be the same. But it's always out by a little bit from one to the next, so definitely got to double check it. Darren, got some motion blur in that one in the forest. I don't know, I can't just, with digital I can just basically see what the settings were, but with film, I don't know, I got to look at it and be like, well, it was dark, it was in the forest, it might have been a 30th of a second or a 40th trying to get that ambient light. This is a 1000th f4, I know that for, or sorry, a 250th at, because did I use, yeah, I used, no, maybe I didn't. There's no flash on this. This is just a 1000th f4. So that was my standard, 1000th f4, Fuji Velvia. And yeah, maybe I remember that wrong. I don't know. Sounds about right. Chris Donahue with a little Abubica on a park wall. On a small wall in Vancouver. And this one is 02, 321, still the same. We're at 18. Chris had all these things he'd find riding, and then when he had a few of them, we'd go out and we'd just shoot them. So this is another shot. This is Dustin Adams. This is in Kamloops. Dustin was riding for Iden as well, so we were there. Live stream transmission 5 looks good. Things are still working. Sweet. That's there. See all the tire tracks on the wall. You know that was a popular spot. 02. Oh, it's cool. We did some, I shot a bunch of stuff with Dustin and a few of the Kamloops guys. I can't remember who came with us on this trip. We went up to Kamloops to shoot. I believe he's riding a 420, 4 bikes, which was Red Shreds was the R on top, and then what was the Kamloops bike shop name? God, I should know that. Memory's fading. Full Bore on top and Red Shreds got together and made some aluminum hardtails called FOR, and this was the FOR 20, 420. All right, Darren. Dropping in the Nymo. It's going to be next up. So this way you actually get to see, if you're watching, you get to see all this stuff up close. God, this one's dirty. I may... I don't know where my blower is. I've got a bulb blower that was sitting here, and somehow when I cleaned up I misplaced it. And now I don't have a way to clean it. I guess I could use the air. Don't ever use air to clean, canned air to clean your camera sensor. Used to do it all the time with film cameras because there's nothing in there. You just basically don't blast the shutter, but you can get into the actual camera and blow dust out, blow it up into the, the mirror, the prism or whatever, but yeah, that looks better. Might be a little better now. I'll just blow some dust out of it. Let's see how much difference it makes. But sensors, if you get any of that frozen liquid out of the duster on there into the liquid, it's going to destroy your sensor. No, not really any different. No, that's got to actually be cleaned. Oh well. Easy enough to do. And an IMO roof drop. And I should put, I like to have this as the absolute minimum of information. That way if I type Darren's name in and I'm looking for something, I know this is going to show up. And then I'll come back later on and I will definitely like make sure the color and everything matches up with the actual image, and you know, make sure that the camera settings aren't messing it up at all. So I'm going to finish this page, got 3 more, and then we'll take a little break to go look at the stuff that Mike Reed wanted to see from Jordy's Jump Jam. Ice Cream Jam. And looks good. All right, Darren, we got this next one. Summer Games in Nanaimo. Built this big sign by the Nanaimo Harbor City sign. And there's actually a way to get up onto here. I can't remember if Darren had to put a piece of wood up there or not, but framed all this up, and Darren decided it made a perfect landing. So had to get it. Oops, I want Nanaimo. I just got to Nanaimo Summer Games sign. Drop. And this is going to be 02. Album 322, and this is image 1439. Done. 2 more. Tail whip. At this point, Darren had tail whips down. Tail whips were still a very early thing in the mountain bike world. People weren't doing tail whips yet. Not many. Especially not consistently. So the fact that Darren could do them definitely set him apart from a lot of the other riders. He had such a solid bag of tricks at the time. The trails in Nanaimo, close to Darren's house. We used to go over and hang out, check out his dad's train set. His dad had upstairs had an amazing like train set up. I don't like this shadow. Not a big fan of it, but you know what? It's there. Nothing we can do about it now. Nanaimo. This one, now we're on to page 23. Album 3. And this is 1450. One more to go, and then we'll look at some digital stuff from 2006. Okay, another shot of Darren. This one is at lee side. Foot plant on the wall at lee side. And we'll get that in the middle there. Yeah, I put a wall. This is always black in the background, so I put another light over here. I could have used another light on Darren here. I had one, well, one to the far right of the shot. One, you can see coming up the wall behind him. And then that one in the background. We'll see that in a sec. And then once I get these all scanned, I need to actually like clean them up, crop them, crop out the slide frame, get everything all perfect, dust them, and then put them into folders with the rest of everything else. This one I'm already going to say is a little dark, so I'm going to go through here and these are all probably a little bit dark. I don't want to change the look of it. It's not like digital where I'm doing creative stuff. I just want to make it look like it was at the time. It's close to where it could be. So I know I exposed for the sky outside because I wanted the sky to be blue, not blown out. And then I wanted to light everything up in the tunnel. Leaside in Vancouver. Leaside's a DIY homemade skate park. It's actually got a lot of concrete now. It's actually pretty rad. But it was built in an underpass by the PNE, the exhibition. So, and it was basically an abandoned underpass. Didn't go anywhere because they built a field. I think it originally went to parking for the PNE and the Pacific National Exhibition. And when that got changed into a football stadium, they basically just gated it off and became a convenient spot for kids to build a, well, not really kids, for people to build, oh, what was his name? Somebody's gonna know, that built the original Leaside. And a lot of graffiti, you can see it in there. It was a favorite spot of graffiti artists to tag stuff. Leaside Slate Park, Leaside Skate Park, foot plant. And so if you do a text search in Lightroom, it'll find anything in the caption, no problem. So if I type in Berrecloth or Leaside, that stuff, rather than using them right now as keywords, I'm just putting it in the caption so I can find it. 23, this is 1460. Okay, so we're gonna go from there. That stuff is done. Got a lot more to scan, but a lot more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more pages of stuff to scan. But instead, what I'm going to do is turn this stuff off And this thing's going to close down because there's no camera attached. And I'm going to basically, we're going to look at some stuff from 2006. So I got to reopen Lightroom with the catalog I want to look at, and we can go look through some stuff from 2006. So far it's been really early stuff, and I'm going to have to start getting into actually skipping this whole scanning slides from 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005 even, because that's going to take forever. And start focusing on the stuff that I want to actually have in my show and maybe include in a book. Now, there's definitely some stuff in here, and the reason I'm doing this is because I don't have scans of a lot of this stuff, or not decent scans. So we're going through all that, but so far I have far too many photos in my folder, and I haven't even gotten out of film yet. So I got to get into the current day, which is, 22 years after when these photos were taken. 22 years of photos to catch up on to find stuff. So there's definitely a lot that I need to do. All right, this is from Mike Reed to start with. Where's my phone at? I don't see my phone. I was going to send Reed a message. Tell him, hey. Well, we're going to go to Lightroom. This is 2005. I want to go to 2006, but let's go to, this is Puerto Rico. I think this is George Ryan, right? Yeah, that's George Ryan. Puerto Rico trip for the Medalla Light Ultimate Dirt Challenge. This is a skate park on top of a building in San Juan, Puerto Rico. But I'm going to actually skip 2005, close 2010. We're going to go to 2006. And 2006 started with me shooting some stuff with Brian Lopes for Oakley and Marzocchi. And, some of this stuff got used for Marzocchi stuff, and some of it got used for some Oakley stuff. But, yeah. I should probably, let's go to, there. Look at the selects. We don't need to look at the rest of it. Those Lopes. This one, I think Marzocchi used. Or this one, I can't remember. And then this one was the cover of a little Oakley catalog. Mountain bike catalog, I think. With Oakley clothing and glasses. I think it was mostly the clothing, Oakley clothing catalog. Anyway, so we got, if you can see here on my screen, Gathering. A lot of photos in there. Jordy. A lot of these, so the funny thing about all these is a lot of these were never really color corrected or any of that stuff. They're just, I don't know, I have to go through these and look at them at some point and redo them. Back in 2006, I knew what I was doing fairly well, but didn't quite have it. So, not where I am now, where I can just tweak stuff and make it pretty perfect. This is a little blurry. This was shot at, so I can't do this with film, 20th of a second, f2.8, ISO 100. It was dark with a 200. So, yeah, that's a delete right there. But let's go and go to here. So, there's just a lot of stuff here. The Gathering was an indoor thing. And I'm not super stoked on a lot of it. I know it's like indoor warehouse, Goldman 360. I don't know who that was. Oh, I do know, but I can't remember his name. Porter, tail whip, Is that Boyko? Who is it? I don't know who that is. Sunbomb, maybe? Cam McCall. Cam Zink. Yeah. I don't know who that is. Early Deity hoodie. Yo, look at that hoodie. That's rad. We should do that one again, I think. That's actually dope. I like that hoodie a lot. I would rock that for sure. So I'm not going to look through these in great detail. There's just a lot of indoor dirt jump contest photos. None of them are all that great. Got a photo shoot with Michaela Gatto. Some scenery. And I used to always go out and find these things to shoot. Just, you know, photo walks, but I'd bring flashes. So this is a sculpture based on ribs of a boat that's in Vancouver. And it's got the degrees and the arc of it. And sunset, tried to light it up and make it look cool against sunset. Just basically practicing stuff. And yeah, turned out fairly well. All right. We got a photo shoot here with Canadian DH girls. Brooke Baker, Claire, and Katrina. Got a bunch of awesome photos of them. And one thing I learned from this is shooting, I was okay with shooting one person, and I was okay with shooting two people. It was more work. Trying to get two people to look at the camera and be in tune with each other. Trying to get three at the same time. Almost every photo I've got two people looking at the camera and a third one not really looking at the camera. Brett, what up? That's such a sick shot. I'm not sure if you're talking about this one. What shot are you talking about? Hang on, I gotta close this. What's keeping my focus? Close that. Something's stealing the focus from my window here. There we go. I don't know. Brett, I don't know. Anyways, so there's a bunch of photos here. I'm not going to go through them all. This was on top of the building I lived in Vancouver. And yeah, just went up there. It was all mossy and beautiful. Shot some photos of the girls. And this is looking the other way. Snowy mountains in the background. All the cranes and stuff. Puerto Rico, Lenoski. So what I'm looking for from Mike Reed is the ice cream jam. We got some stuff here. So back in 2006, I was playing around with filters. The Berrecloth foot plant shot. Oh yeah, that was a dope one. In 2006, I was playing around with star filters, and I'd put my big light in the background and try and create these star shapes and this flare, because I was really into this flare. Unfortunately, like, the flare would pick up the star shape of the star filter, so you'd see this weird artifacting that bothered me. But Jamie Goldman, no foot can. Probably should have used my my light a little better to light up more of him. But yeah, Puerto Rico, 2006. Ice cream jam. So this is what we were looking for. Mike Reed sent me a message on Instagram and said, hey, we should look at this stuff. We should look at, you should go through the stuff from the ice cream jam with that sketchy ladder and Ross's Decline magazine cover shot. So let's do it. I'm gonna just go through everything that's here. There's a lot. We're gonna go through pretty quick. But We got Eric Porter. Jordy did this jam a bunch of times. Built these jumps in the yard and had a bunch of, they were sponsored by B-Lab and SRAM and the Black Bucks stuff, and Tyler Moreland and the whole SRAM crew. And who else was there? Well, Porter came up for it. Cam McCall with a very flat 360. This is Black Market Mob with SIC bar and stem. I'm not sure who that was. Don't recognize that helmet right off the top of my head. This is on the Evil. This would have been Ryder Kasprick, I believe. Ryder. Always hanging out, announcing, talking. McCall getting his threes really dumped, almost vertical, and I was trying to find the angle. So this is a dump three. Looks like a flip almost, but trying to find the angle where it made it look like you could really see what was going on. And from the back, kind of 3/4 was the angle that worked best for it. Jordy had this orange basketball helmet. I didn't get much short. I don't think he rode a whole lot actually at his contest, but yeah, don't have a lot of shots of him. Cam, see from that angle a little more from the back rather than here where it looks dope, but from here you can see him really diving in, and he actually got more than vertical on a couple of them. It was the ice cream jam, so they had ice cream for ice cream. Kids love ice cream. Bafus. This is Steve Bafus. I don't even have to look to tell. I just look at the trick and his bike. So many stickers. Check out that gray, old school gray deity bar. And dude, check this out. I never realized he did this. He had the gray stem, but it had the white stem faceplate on it. The original deity cranks, the gray ones. SDG seat. I-beam, looks like. Yep, I-beam saddle. Match video zine, stickers, deity stickers, all sorts of cool shit on there. Yeah, X up, no foot can. That was a classic Bafus trick. Cam, 360s getting dumped. See all the lights over here. I was running the Alien Bees, and I think Haruks or somebody might have been as well. I'm not sure who else had them. Girls. We had such a great crew of people. It was amazing. It was a good scene. Everybody hanging out, drinking Red Bulls. Got Gareth Dyer. We got Ross here. That looks like Ryan Berrecloth. Local kids. Got Kyle there. Kyle Jameson. There's that mob. Who is that? It looks like a sun bomb. Bafus. Bicycle rockers. Rider. Fashion statement for sure. Like, these guys actually stood out really well. They had style. You know, if you look back to the shot of Jesse I had from, I posted on Instagram a couple weeks, so no, last week I guess, and people were stoked, and he talked about how his like fit was actually put together. Like, not just throw on what's clean, but actually like put together a kit that matched and went with his bike. So kids back in 2006, these guys were thinking about it. Got some Haruks and I with some I haven't gone through these, so we're just finding them. Haruks and I with some arm wrestling action. Claire actually rode. Claire's a hero. If you don't know Claire, she's rad. She's definitely rad. And yeah. She actually hit the jumps and rode. Wasn't just hanging out with everyone else. As far as spectators, she was actually riding. That was dope. Boyko, Ben Boyko, no foot can. Wait. Who's this? Trek. That might be with the Nikes. I'm going to guess that's a young Brandon Semenuk. I'm not sure. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't put names down on any of these, so I don't know who these people are. If you look over here, it says Ice Cream Jam, Athlete, and there's no name. Dirty Lund's House, Parksville, but I never put in the names of the riders, and this was years ago. Ice Cream. Darren Berrecloth. Ben Boyko. 360X up. Ross. With a sick table. I'm guessing that's Ross. It looks like him. Like his style. Bafus again. No foot can X up. Claw. 360 one-handed table. 360. So this is from the ladder. There was this super sketchy ladder. And actually, I don't know if I thought it was super sketchy. Mike Reed said yesterday in his message, the sketchy ladder. And yeah, standing on top of the ladder, getting real close to these guys, shooting photos. Claw, riding for Specialized, 2006. So there's the ladder. There's Mike Reed up on the ladder. Shooting Ross. Reeder quit shooting bike and went to shoot hockey and then didn't shoot at all. And he told me he's picking up a new camera, so can't wait to see what comes out of it. Gareth Dyer. I love this shot. Reeder shooting there. Gareth. Hey, Mike Reed, I want to see your shot of Gareth doing this Superman seat grab, because I think it'll be, I think it's a dope shot. I don't know, hopefully. Kim McCall and Ryder. Same time, side by side. And this is a shot that was the cover of Decline magazine. So if we look there, I don't know if I can get it so it's not getting in the flare of the light. There's Decline magazine cover. So they actually took this horizontal shot and cropped it so to fit. Decline was more, it's more almost, it wasn't square, but it wasn't 2:3. It was more 4:5, like Instagram kind of format, the cover. Bafus. That X up no foot can from a different angle. Not a good angle of this trick. Cam McCall, 3X. Ross with the sick 1 foot table. I actually like that shot a lot. Claw with a 3. Same thing, 360. This is Evan Holmgren. Evan had so much style. This is a 360 table, and most of you watching this probably have never heard of Evan Holmgren, but yeah, OG Vancouver kid, actually Greater Vancouver, and so good, so much style, super underrated as a rider, I think. I mean, well known at the time, at least in our circle, but as far as, you know, publicity and stuff, not enough. Here we got the, is this the judges crew? What's going on up here? We got Claire, Jordy, boys. Jordy. The crew with the awards for the event. We got Cam McCall. Cam McCall won some ice cream at the Ice Cream Jam. And Claw and Ben Boyko. There we go. They took donations. Looks like Boyko got them. People. And then one last shot. 3 turn down. Claw on his 20. I always love that trick. 360 turn down. 360 turn down, 360 look back. Both beautiful tricks. Love them both. So that's it for that event. Mike Reed, that's for you. I don't know what else we should go through. At this point, I might just go get some dinner, do some things, and then get back in here. 9 o'clock? Yeah, been here for a bit. So, yeah. That's it for now. I'll post some stuff. I'll scan some more stuff. And then next week, I don't know if I'm going to do Wednesday or Friday or Sunday. I need to figure out what's going to work best for people, because Friday is not very busy. Well, it's not that it's not busy. I haven't advertised this live stream really at all because I've been having these technical glitches. Like right now, if I open Studio, well, I'm going to go over here, and it's going to tell me that my stream's current bit rate is 4875, and I should use a stream bit rate of 13,500, but it's actually set to 15,000. Might even be 20,000. So I'm not really sure why it's so low. Got to figure that out. So yeah, maybe I up-res it to 4K again and see if that increases it. For some reason, it's just not there. There's not enough data. Could be my format. Who knows? Anyways, we're done. So see y'all later.